Hello. Okay, so today we are going to make a few titles tutorials. I call this title the evolution title. So first off, let's go to composition, new composition. And I'm going to make it small at 720 by 480. If you want to use this for a real project, you can make it your project size 1920 by 1080. I'll call this evolution. The frame rate is 24, and I'm going to have a duration of 5 seconds. So please make the changes on your composition now. Alright, good. So let's press OK. First thing we want to do is layer, new, solid. Layer, new, solid. This one we're going to call vignette. Vignette. And we're going to choose a color by clicking on this rectangle box. Click. Type in 2A120B. That's our color right here. Alright, so we got that. Actually, for this one, I take that back. We're going to do that for the next one. Let's call this one 4A403C. My apologies. Sorry about that. Let's press OK. And this one is just going to be solid. Okay. This next one is going to be the vignette. That's what we need to do. So layer, new, solid. We'll make the color this time 2A120B. And we'll call this one, press OK, and we'll call this one vignette. Alright, press OK. Okay, so the vignette one, let's change the blend mode. This is the mode from normal to classic color burn. So now I want a perfect ellipse here. So here's the ellipse tool. I have my vignette layer highlighted and I double click on the vignette tool, creating this perfect ellipse titled Mask 1. Alright, so that's pretty good. Now let's change the Mask 1 mode from add to subtract. And toggle down the options and put the feather to 127. There we go. Now it's still too strong a vignette, so we're going to press T for opacity and change it from 100 to 18%. Okay. On the vignette mode, let's go to highlight vignette, effect, generate, fill. And this time, choose the color, click, and we're going to choose color 950303. Press OK. Alright. So let's put this blend mode to screen actually. Okay. Good. Excellent. Alright. Now let's make another layer. Layer, new, adjustment layer. Let's put this, it should be in between these two layers, vignettes on top, solids on the bottom. In the effects, let's type in KAL, and we're looking for CC Kaleido. There we go. Let's click it and put it onto the adjustment layer. Alright, so there we have CC Kaleido. Now we want to put the movie, and this should be in your project pack when you download this tutorial. Take this Flourish 14 MOV and put it under the adjustment layer. Adjustment layers always affect the layers beneath it. And let's scale this by pressing S to 11. Now, you might not see anything. It's because we're on the 0 timeline. Let's click on the middle of the timeline. There we go. So by itself, this is what the flourish really is. But with all of the effects applied, it becomes this. That's the Kaleido thing going, like kaleidoscope. Okay, so now set the flourish movie layer from normal to overlay. Now let's change the opacity of this layer by pressing T from 100 to 27. Good, it's not as intense now. So back on the adjustment layer, click, go to Effects. Here's your effect Kaleido. Set mirroring to flower if it's not there already. Some of the older ones go that way. Make sure it's on flower. All right, good. So this is our background. All right, so let's begin to talk about the actual title plate. We've got to make a solid black title plate. So first off, layer, new, solid. Let's make it a solid black. There we go. Solid black layer. Okay. Press OK. Now we need to cut out a black rectangle with rounded edges. So let's use the rounded rectangle tool and click rounded rectangle tool. It's not exactly what I want. It's doing too big for me. So instead, I click here and I'll choose right about here. Click, drag. That's about the size I want it. I don't like it, feels a little bit off center, right? So now I choose my selection tool and I move this layer here. Okay. Let's also rename this black solid layer to title plate. So press enter, call it title plate. Good. Now, let's go back to your project panel and find Flourish 6. This is Flourish _06. Place it on the top of the stack there. Scale it by pressing S to 25%. Now let's go to Effect, Generate, Fill, because that whole thing is white. So let's give it a color. Let's make the color, we change on this red, I don't want that red. Let's change it to color EA9638. There. Press OK. Now, for Flourish 06, let's set the blend mode from normal to classic color burn. Okay. So now, let's reposition this. I think we still need to scale it a little differently. Scale it right there. I'm going to zoom out with my middle mouse wheel. And I want to make it a little bit bigger. 21. So 21 roughly. It's kind of a wing on this side. Now let's duplicate it. Highlight the layer and press Command D or Control D on a PC. Now we have two Flourish 06s. But let's reposition this on the bottom right of the rectangle. Okay, but that doesn't look right, so I need to rotate this. So I press R for rotation, and I rotate that last value. So right about, feels a little bit big to me. S for scale. Sure. Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay, so now let's duplicate another flourish. Press Command D. But this time let's change the color. So on this top one, I click on the color. Let's change the color to FFDD82 and press OK. Let's set the blend mode to normal. And this time, Effect, Stylize, Glow. Now that we've got a glow on it, it's time to start doing some magic to it. Put the glow radius to 64. All right. Now we've got that. Let's place the title plate on the top. Click, Put it on the top so it covers it. There we go. Now let's duplicate the glowing layer. That's this layer here. Command D. And place it on the left as another wing. So let's rotate that around again. R for rotate. I don't mind if it's a little bit different. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Kind of even looks nicer when it's inside. I'd almost want to take this one and scale it down. Seems a little bit more intricate that way to me. Alright, cool. Alright, so where was I? Now that we've got it over there, we want to put the title plate at the top. We did that. Use the ellipse tool to cut around the black rectangle. Oh, we want to feather these edges. That's right. Okay, so F for mask feather. Just a little bit. Yeah, good. So I put my feather up to 5 pixels. Alright. Now on the title plate layer, click on the layer, go to Effect, Generate, Gradient Ramp. Let's change the bottom color, this one, to a dark red. Yeah, that looks kind of sinister, hey? Start of ramp. So right up. And if I change, if I click on this Y value of this target, it brings the top color down more. So you see. So I kind of like that. What I want is this nice gradient, sinister red thing going on. So give yourself a try and see if that works for you. All right. Now, let's make some particles. Go to Layer, New, Solid. And let's just make it a yellowish, whitish one. So, yellowish. Yeah, there. I have D6A65C. Press OK. Call this particles. Now for this one, go to type in CC particle world. Drag it on and put it on the particles layer. Now we've got to do a few things here. Change the grid off. Don't need no grid there. And the birth rate from 2 to 0.9. Under physics, find the gravity and put it to 0.1. And for velocity, put it from 1 to 0.13. And the gravity, just a second. Gravity's not working like that. Let's put the gravity to 0.03. There we go. Okay, under particle type, change the particle type to lens convex. Let's put the birth size to 0.00 or 0.007 and the depth size to 0.09. There we go. Under producer, put the radius x from 0.025 to 0.4. And let's make the radius y 0.1. Now they're scattered all over. Okay, good. Close this up. Let's add effect, stylize, glow. All right, there we go. So now all of those particles are glowing. And let's put this particle layer under the title plate. You got it. Okay, we're doing good. Doing great. Okay, let's make a title now. So we have our title plate. Get your title layer, and I'll call this Handsome Guy, because this story will be about a handsome guy. All right, I'm going to scale this. Make it a little bit there. All right. This totally doesn't make any sense, by the way, but I'm just going to rock with it. Okay, so now, and I'll get my key over, put that more like that. Alright. Okay, now we can change this font by also doing like the, let's see, so say for example, there's my title plate, gradient ramp, Command C, click on Handsome Guy layer, and Command V. But now it made my titles the same as the background, which is not exactly what I want. So I just want to step it up a little bit. There we go. But I want it still kind of red. And then this one is not as all right. And again, depending on what they have installed on your school computers, you can change this up, right? So, I mean, we could make it something like that. And let's see, I guess I better get a little bit more serious about this. What goes good with red? I think green is on the color wheel. Take your green, but this isn't really that. Let's make it a gold. So I guess gold is better. Yeah, there we go. So if I make it gold, and then content, that's better. And you can change the font again with your type tool, highlight all the words, then you can go into here and change the font of whatever your text is. But be aware that this depends on what fonts you have installed, and school computers, you need to have administration access to it. So we're kind of limited by what kind of fonts you can use. But yeah, go through it and try it now. And if you haven't already, do a file save. Okay, so let's place particle layer under the flourishes layer. Let's put this under all of those flourishes. That's the next step. Now, you see this toggle switches and nodes? We want to toggle this. So 3, 2, 1, click. Let's see how these options change. This is 3D. We want to make all the flourishes, title plate, text, and the black solid all 3D, but not the particles. The particles are already looking 3D. So I wanted this 3D, and it's okay, flourishes. Alright, we don't want to make those 3D. We'll leave those. Okay, so we just want these flourishes, title plate, and this text. That's what we want to be 3D. Because we're going to do a camera move, and the camera will recognize the 3D characteristic. Okay, anyway, we're making a camera. Just go with me on this one. Make those 3D. Next step, go to Layer, New Camera. Layer, New Camera. Let's put it at 35 mil. Where's the 35 mil? Come on, Ryan, 35 mil. Get your stuff together. There we go, 35 mil. Okay. Press OK. Now, unified camera. Check that out, eh? This is what's cool about After Effects. You can, like, once you got that camera, you're looking through the camera. Now, keep in mind that we're just using the camera to move. The text is still at the same spot where it is. We didn't move the text at all. All we've done is we have a camera and we're moving the camera around as we look through it. So yeah, that's what's kind of cool about After Effects. One more thing that's cool. Okay, so now we want to have this at an angle. So it doesn't really matter what angle, but the trick is here, I want to create some depth in this frame. So I take this title plate. You got that? Okay, I want to push the title plate forward in 3D space. So you see that widget? That's what we call a widget. I get my selection tool, click, and I push this forward in 3D space. So it's a little bit ahead. Got that? Now, with some of these flourishes, I push it a little bit forward. A little bit forward. And this flourish, I push a little bit back. And this flourish, I push a little bit back. Okay, so now that title plate, Command D, or Edit, Duplicate. We just duplicated the title plate. Now push it back in 3D space, right? Oh, Command Z. Push it back. So now this should look like it's got some 3D dimensional space going in between these two plates. So let's try it out. If I want to use my orbit tool, camera, unified camera tool. See? So we're creating the image that this is a 3D construct. But really, we just duplicated two-dimensional layers and created depth within the frame. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so next, go to the project panel, find the Paper 09 JPEG, and let's put the Paper 9 JPEG underneath the title plate. Let's put the blend mode, toggle switches back, 3, 2, 1, click, and put the blend mode to classic color burn. Oh yeah. Okay, we're not there yet. Highlight the layer, press T, and put the opacity down to 35%. There, see, it's got that sketchy deal coming on. Okay, so I don't want it over the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'll take a mask and booyaka, there we go. And then I highlight, toggle down the mask one options so I can see feather, and I just feather that out. So it's kind of creepy looking. There we go. Creepy. Okay. So we got that. Let me just double check on all of our work and see how we're doing. All right. Oh, sorry guys, I forgot. We covered the title, but we left our handsome guy title back in 3D space. So I need to move that. Oh, we didn't do that. So P for position. There we go. This is X, this is Y, this is Z. So I just brought handsome guy forward. And handsome guy looks a little bit dark, hey? So how about let's go to Effect Controls, Effect, Color Correction, Curves, and on the RGB, let's just bump that up a little bit. Handsome guy. And Effect, Stylize, Glow. Oh yeah, there we go. There you go. Womp. Okay, no, not that bad. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's animate our camera. So we have our camera here. So let's start first position. So what we'll do is with our unified camera tool, we can, I think I'm going to start this title like kind of around there. Okay. So what I do is I toggle this down, transform, position, point of interest, orientation, X rotation, Y rotation, Z rotation. Yeah, cool. And by the end, I want to have a nice in the middle here so it looks nice. I move my position indicator to the middle of the timeline, which is like 1 second, almost 2 seconds. 2 seconds, I want to see the full text. There we go, and there's the keyframe at position. I want to keep that same keyframe at around 3 seconds. So I just put a keyframe there to keep it at that same position at 3 seconds in space. 1 keyframe, 2 keyframes, 3 keyframes. So we started off down there. I want to come around and make it the opposite. Okay, I can't drive. You might have to fudge a little bit with this one, guys. I'm not gonna lie. There, that's kind of what I wanted more. There. And getting there. Nope, I definitely don't want to do that. No, no, no. No. Okay, then I think it's just position. Yeah. There we go. So here, well, maybe we can. Maybe this one would be better, eh? Sometimes you just gotta feel it out. Feel what works best. All right, let's check this out. Boom shakalaka. I'm okay with that. Okay. So, in review, what we've done is that we've worked with two-dimensional layers as well as a texture layer and a movie layer to create a flourish animated, also a camera layer and some particles. And notice, remember, we gave it a lot of depth as well. And yeah, this is what we got. So this has been the end of Title Series Evolution. Hope you enjoyed. End recording.